What's up, geeks? So in this video, I'm going to cover how you can stay focused while learning how to become a software engineer. So let's get into it. So I'm going to give you my personal story on how I was able to focus while becoming a mobile developer. It was because I had a great idea. In my opinion, I had a great idea. And that idea, I was very passionate about the idea, and it allowed me to focus. Not only did I get into mobile development, I got into SEO, search engine marketing. I got into blogging. I got into just building relationships with other content creators. I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, but I did market my business on YouTube and also marketed my business on Facebook. So I learned a plethora of different skills. The thing that really helped me persist as somebody who never even had any kind of background in software engineering was the fact that I had an idea that I really believed in. Now, you may or may not be watching this because you're a mobile developer, or you may just be an entrepreneur. But when you have that strong energy, it keeps you getting up, and it keeps you researching on different tools that are out there that can actually help you fulfill your dream. So for me, I know that I had no idea what components were. I didn't understand state management. I didn't understand props. I understand how things work together. And at that time, there weren't any kind of React Native hooks. There wasn't even Redux at that time. So I was learning everything. React had just been out for less than a year. React Native had been out for less than a year. So I was really just learning everything from scratch. I told you I actually touched Swift 5. I didn't have a passion for Swift at that time. I had a passion for mobile development, but I wasn't really, I was jumping back and forth. But when I had my mobile idea, I stuck with it, man. And it went on for a good solid 2 years. And within that 2 years, I gained a whole lot of knowledge. Not only did I learn how to build a mobile application, I learned how to build APIs. I learned how to do wireframing. I learned how to hire people. I learned a lot of different skills. So I could say, if you're looking for ways to stay motivated, I would look and find where there's a need, and then say, I'm going to build a mobile app for this need, and I just won't give up. I would do some research on it. I would actually do research on the specific niche that I'm in, and then I also would do research on React Native, of course. Now, it may be difficult for you to find something that you're passionate about. I know I have a lot of friends who are still trying to figure out what kind of career they're going to have, or trying to figure out what kind of partner they want to be. So it's kind of hard to find something that you're passionate about. So if you're struggling to find something that you are passionate about, I would recommend just rebuilding the application that's already out there. The application that when I got into web development, the application I tried to mimic was Facebook. And you're able to, there's something you can inspect a web application. And by inspecting that web application, you're able to see how that web application was actually built. So when I got into HTML, CSS, the fact that I was able to do that on the web, it made me understand and get a better knowledge around how to build a web application. And once I got that knowledge around how to build a web application, I went into trying to copy mobile applications, things like Instagram, things like Facebook, or just any kind of other application. I just went, I checked it out, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to construct my application based off this app and just see if I can get something to show on my screen. So I would recommend finding some kind of app that you're really passionate about, something that you use daily, routinely. And if you use it pretty often, you have a good idea of the flow, how the application should flow, how the navigation works, how the push notification works. And then I would take all that knowledge, put it together, and actually use that to build a clone application. The last thing that I would recommend to you is to stick to one language. As a beginner, I didn't do this, but I feel like a lot of people get overwhelmed because they try to learn tools that don't complement each other. Like, you're trying to learn one tool that uses one language, and then you're using another tool that uses another language. And then as a beginner, that's just you're going to go over your head. You're promised almost to give up. Reason being, it's not just a matter of thinking through algorithms. if you can do an algorithm, yes, that's awesome. And if you can do it swiftly, that's awesome. But when you're building something, you learn about the built-in functions within that language. And you can get caught up in you can do loops for pretty much any kind of language. But if you're not focused on just one specific language, you're gonna struggle learning all the ins and outs that one programming language can actually provide you with. And also, when you stick to that programming language, you're able to code a lot faster. Like, for me, obviously React Native is built with JavaScript. So I use a framework called WebStorm that actually allows me to build JavaScript applications. Now, because I have a thorough understanding of how JavaScript works, I have a high knowledge of most of the built-in functions that you're going to use within JavaScript. So because of that, I can build a component very fast, and I can build an application in about a week or two. That's really fast. And most developers, like I said in a previous video, they can be pretty lazy. There was developers that I worked with, they were like, hey, give us 5 months. And then it could be 5 months for just 2 screens. 2 screens that didn't have much functionality. The reason being is because they just didn't want to do it. Now, when you put in the work, you put in the time, and you focus on one language, regardless if that language is involved with different frameworks, your confidence is going to grow up. And when you have that newfound confidence and you're able to build something going from 6 months, you can do it now in 3 months. You can build something that was in 3 months, you can build it now in a few weeks. Your confidence as a software developer is just going to grow. And you're going to be able to apply that newfound knowledge to something else down the road. Because I promise you, as a software developer, no matter what language you're using, no matter what framework you're using, tech is going to continue to evolve. I hope you found this video helpful. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you check out the description below for my Learning React Native Without the Bullshit course. I'm very confident that you will learn a lot about React Native and you'll get hired soon in that field. But anyways, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.